Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Perspectives. Glad to have you with us during this holiday season. And holiday season it is, lads and lassies. As a matter of fact, Brian, our producer, if you'll take a look at the table, you'll see the Christmas tree he brought in. God love him. He's a wonderful producer. He's a great friend. Everybody here loans us all money, that sort of thing. He has no taste in Christmas trees. He brought this in, and that's the best we could come up with on short notice. That's our Christmas tree. Now, our guest today, which is more important than our Christmas tree, is W.T. Cauley, and it's good to have you.
Thank you, sir.
You're kind of an enigma to me. I saw you for the first time on one of the videos that we taped here at Rogers State.
Correct.
You're a musician. You're a songwriter. How long have you been into it?
I've been a songwriter my whole life, really, but been trying to make like a business of it, say, for the last 4 years.
So you're really hitting it hard now.
I'm doing the best I can. You know, it's an uphill battle, but I'm getting some traction, I think.
What comes first, the lyrics or the melody?
That's a great question. Song by song, it changes. Sometimes I'll wake up with a melody and wait for the story to align to it. That could take weeks or years, depends. Sometimes I have a specific lyric that's waiting for a melody to occur, but it's always very organic for me. Rarely have I sat down and tried to be like, okay, I need to figure out a stanza for this, or they just kind of come. I imagine my mind kind of like a radio station. Sometimes I'm walking around and I'll just like pick up a song that's in the air and start to try and hone it in and create it, make it my own.
I'm sure there are a lot of folk out there right now who would say, well, I can do that.
Probably.
And they don't.
Probably could.
No, they don't.
Well.
They just say, I could do that, without knowing how hard it is.
I mean, there's something about putting yourself out there, that's for sure. Like I don't, you know, the songs I write have very personal meanings usually, so you know, to sing that out loud and let the world take it as they will can be very dangerous.
When did you first recognize that you had the ability to create this way? How far back does that go?
Oh, man.
And did
junior high, early high school.
Did it start with lyrics?
Yeah, poetry. Definitely, once I was out of high school, I spent a lot of time, you know, reading the beats and beat poetry, and was kind of considered myself like, oh, I'm going to get into this flow of words, and would write a lot of love poems for girls and these types of things. And then ultimately started, well, I was playing in some rock garage bands, you know, in high school. We'd play at friends' parties and this and that. And just kind of, I don't know, started putting my poems to music, and then that was that.
Are you a solo guy, or do you have a group that plays with you?
Solo guy right now. For the record, I was able to get with some local Tulsa musicians that I really admired, that were actually part of the reason for me moving to Tulsa. And they liked the demo and agreed to come into the studio. They're very busy guys. They play with a lot of people around. You can pretty much see the band if you go to the Mercury Lounge on Wednesday nights. You see the band Pilgrim. Patty Ryan, Aaron Baylor, and Jesse Aycock are the guys from that band that played on my record.
I know Jesse.
Yeah, an amazing guitarist.
Yeah.
I mean, the man just pulls strings of his soul out of that instrument. It's amazing to watch.
I have known a lot of musicians in my time, and the majority of them are musicians who make music. And then there are a few who create music. But they don't do it with lyrics. They just create music. And they're not quite sure about writing down that music, and one or two of them do. One of them, a guy named Gail Croxton, works in California as a studio musician, saxophone player. He's done that ever since we went to school together. And some of his work would astound you. You'll find him on Frank Sinatra records, Tony Bennett records. The guy was gifted. but he could not write lyrics, and he never found a partner to work with. But he can give you a tune, man, that'll scramble your eggs. It'll happen every time. You brought some examples of your work. One was when you did a recording for us, and we played it here. The other is a new one, and I think one of them's called Bakersfield, and the other one's called Can't Sleep.
Yeah.
Any parallels between the two?
Well, in such that they were both written through the filter of my mind. They're different tunes in many ways, genre, lyrical content, storytelling form. The song "Can't Sleep" is personal to me. It's a song about overcoming dependency, not just on like a chemical dependency, but like humans deal with a lot of different dependencies in their lives. Relationships, jobs, cultural dependencies, things that we believe that we must maintain, and just trying to maybe crack through those and see if the real you is the person that has all of these veneers on it, or if there's something else underneath there. That's kind of what Can't Sleep is about. And it's based in a real driving kind of rock format, whereas Bakersfield is more of a kind of a lighthearted storytelling. Harkening back, I spent a lot of time in the town of Bakersfield as a child. Family still lived there. We'd spend Christmases there. Just had a real soft spot. And I visited there recently for a funeral, and a lot of the lyrics in that song were taken from that visit. Conversations I overheard, signage I'd see in the streets, just kind of trying to put together this overall picture of the town. And there's a real, like, the grass is always greener type of element to that song. You can never go home type of element to that song.
A lot of folks don't realize that when they're listening sometimes to their favorite artists. Take example Neil Diamond. Neil Diamond had a hit on a song called "It's a Beautiful Noise" that he wrote based on his life in New York City and where he lived at the time. And "It's a Beautiful Noise" became a classic hit for him, and later he recorded it. It was the name of an album, and ended up propelling him to a whole different sphere of followers because they picked up on it real quick. They could understand where the man was coming from. And I have a feeling you're going to do the same thing. We're going to start with one of your songs right now, and I think what we're going to hear is Bakersfield. I'm almost certain that's the one you played here.
Bakersfield is brand new song.
Oh, it's a new one?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Well, we'll start with a new one.
Yeah.
And see where it goes from there. Okay, this is the song called Bakersfield, and WT is going to play it, and I'm going to sit here and look at the tree.
Ride my
Are you one of those types of writers that you work with just a standard guitar, or do you work with electric guitar, or do you work with both?
I've written on a bass guitar, a piano, a guitar, an electric guitar. You know, the instrument often kind of gives the song to you a little bit as well. Depending on the instrument you pick up, the song could go a different way. That, you know, that day, the next day, maybe you try it on a new instrument, see where it goes that day, and then, you know, you kind of come up with this amalgamation, like what's the best version of this song that I can come up with.
Was it George Jones that blossomed over in Bakersfield?
Merle Haggard.
Merle Haggard.
Yeah, Merle Haggard is
God, he gave us a lot of music, didn't he?
certainly.
Holy
Yeah,
Toledo.
that's a large stack of records, that. Yeah.
Wow. You're married.
Correct.
Does your mate support your efforts at songwriting?
Oh, in every possible way, yeah. Yes, my wife Zoe, she, I couldn't thank her enough for, I mean, you know, a little late in life to be embarking on a musical career, so she's given me a lot of headroom to try and find my way and figure this out. I can't thank her enough for that.
Well, she's got to be something to be hooking onto a musician in the first place, but one who's also a writer. That's intriguing to me.
Well, I mean, interesting you bring it up that way. Her dad was a publisher in New York, so I mean, being around her uncle is an author here in Tulsa, Mr. Michael Wallace. He was part of we were down here visiting the Wallaces, Michael and Suzanne, when we decided to move to Tulsa, actually. When we came in to tour some schools and look at houses, and stopped into the coffee house on Cherry Street, bought a CD they had for sale there called The New Tulsa Sound Volume 2 by Horton Records. And I brought that disc back home with me, and that was a major part of us saying, okay, we're moving, because the sound on that record was a sound I wanted to help develop my music. And an interesting full circle that is a lot of the artists on that record I ended up having in studio with me to record at the church when I did the Possum Bone record. And so that was a really satisfying full circle for me.
How does it work now? Do you have other writer friends? Do you guys collaborate? Do you get together and hammer out pieces together?
It's something that I'd like to do more of, certainly. I've been talking with a couple other songwriters in town about maybe partnering up on something just to see what we could create. But honestly, it's something that I haven't been able to crack yet. You know, musicians, we're all like herding cats. Everybody's so busy.
Or trying to nail Jell-O to a tree. It would seem that you have no place to turn, no solid comrades to say, well, I got this idea. But you do, don't you?
Yeah, we're building it up. You know, I've fallen in with some good guys. I play the Blackbird on Pearl in Tulsa on Monday nights. There's a lot of good guys in there. Steve Lydell owns that bar with his partner, Donnie Rich. It was Donnie, actually. When I first moved to town, I was busking out in front of Mary Beth's Buck Adams there on Route 66, the Atomic Curio Shop. And Donnie Rich walked up and liked my sound and said I should go check out playing at the Blackbird. And then from there, I met Steve. Steve was very helpful. He let us use the bar to rehearse before we went in to the studio to record. He introduced me to Zach Wenzel, another great songwriter, somebody I'm hoping to collaborate in the future. He introduced me to Cassie Latshaw, who sings harmonies on the record. And so, yeah, the networking is there. You know, I'm starting to find who I need to get things done.
And it's important to keep that phone book handy.
Oh, yeah. You depend on a lot of people to get this type of music done.
I'd be curious to know, are you the sort of writer that wakes up in the middle of the night with an idea?
Oh, yeah.
And what do you do?
These days, I get right out of bed, and I go into my little studio I have in the house, and I try and get something of it down. If it's a lyric that came to me, I write it down immediately. Don't think you're going to remember it a week later. You won't. But usually it's a melody, and so you have to be a little more cautious then. I go pick up an acoustic guitar or something quietly, because it could be, who knows, 3 in the morning sometimes. And just try and pluck it out. I record it into my phone, a couple hundred little pieces of song in there that eventually will make their way into songs.
Curious. We have another video we're going to play with WT, and I got to tell you, Michael Wallace told me about you long before you and I talked,
Okay.
and spoke glowingly of you. But Michael lies to me a lot, you know, and I don't know, I tease him. But you know, this is one of those things you have to hook into and say, okay. And then I found out that you'd recorded a piece here, and I said, cool. I can, you know, get a chance to look at that video and find out what kind of stuff you crank out, and I did. And then you had a chance to come in, and now we're going to, I think, hear a piece called "Can't Sleep."
Yeah, Can't Sleep.
What's the story behind that one?
This is this tune. It has this lyrical hook. I, right? I can't sleep. And this came to me in a very. I mean, songs come to you in the weirdest ways. I was traveling through Mexico and was sleeping in a noisy hotel. There were some people outside out the door. That I just threw the door open and I just hollered, I can't sleep, and they cleared off. Well, that I couldn't get that out of my head because it was such a silly thing to have said out loud. And I just kept kind of bashing myself for that moment, and I was like, well, wait a minute. For some reason, that I can't sleep, and then boom, it just came into a song, and like I could hear the guitar, I could hear it all, and boom, there I go to the recorder trying to lay it down, and this is what came out.
I heard Ray Stevens say once, I do my best writing when I'm in trouble. You know, if there are bills to be paid and I ain't got the cash, I start worrying about it. And he said, and the words flow.
The passion arrives.
We're going to take a short one here, and what we're going to hear is Can't Sleep, which is another example, and this is a newer tune.
Correct. Yeah, this is going to be on the new record coming out in February, Possum Bone.
I'm going to sit here and get lost in the Christmas tree.
All right.
So take a listen to Can't Sleep. WT,
Yes,
think you like to, are you a good singer? Do you think you're any good singer?
I'm a better songwriter than singer. How about that?
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
That was where I wanted to take that. Which one do you think you're better suited to do?
I mean, the songwriting is stronger than the singing. I think that's a true statement. But I do run into folks that enjoy my voice. They've said that to me. And so, you know, I don't have anybody else to sing them right now, so I'm going to keep singing them as I write them.
Well, I got to tell you,
sure would like to find a stronger voice.
You're sitting right where the Tulsa Sound came from. And that notwithstanding, there are a lot of folk here who would pay good money to have just an inkling of your talent. So I wish you the best. And I hope beyond hope you'll keep my phone number in your Rolodex or wherever your cell phone, and keep me posted on what breaks come your way.
Certainly will. And as I start to book shows in the spring to support the record, I'll make sure you got a ticket on you.
You're a good man, Charlie Brown. I really appreciate that. And tell Mike I said hello.
I sure will.
Michael's got a new book coming out, by the way, and we're going to get him on and talk about it.
Oh, but, that'd be a good conversation.
Thank you for taking time to visit with us.
Yeah, can I say people go check out possumbone.com. You can watch the videos. You can pre-order the vinyl record there, possumbone.com.
I love it. Yeah. That's all the time we have for this edition of Perspectives. Thank you for joining us. Merry Christmas.
There was a chill in the air. Spent all day at the Midway, at the county fair. Neon air, there's wheel coming down. I never felt so heavy as I